This morning we are continuing on this series where we've been talking about being relevant in a cynical society, of how we express our faith, how we talk about our faith in a way that the world around us gets it, and the people we're talking to, when you're done talking to them, go, I understand why you believe what you actually believe. What we're doing is we're taking a step-by-step approach. We've gone through 4 so far. Today will be the 5th step. Before I give you all of them together and show you how I would do it, if I'm just presenting this to someone, if I'm sitting down with to dinner with them or something. So here is the passage we're basing all this on, 1 Peter chapter 3. Peter writes this. You should know this fairly well by now. After 5 weeks, he says this. He says, if someone asks you about your hope you have as a believer, always be ready to explain it. Always be ready to explain it. Do this in a gentle and respectful way, keeping your conscience clear. Then if people speak against you, they will be ashamed when they see what a good life you live because you belong to Christ. All right? So again, Peter's pleading with you, going, Christians, understand what you believe, so anytime a door is open to you to express your faith, you can jump through it and go, here's why I believe what I believe. All right? That's what he's imploring us to do. I want you to understand this morning, as I have every week, it is possible for you as a Christian to have confidence in sharing your faith. That when the opportunity arises, for you not to be scared, for you not to feel uncomfortable, for you to go, oh man, this is great. I get an opportunity to express why I believe what I believe. It is possible for you to be relevant in expressing your faith and discussing it with people where they go, I get it, I see what you're saying, and it's possible to be effective in helping people understand your faith in a way that makes sense to them, that makes them think about their lives and go, maybe I need to rethink some of the things I'm doing in my life and the life that I'm living, and maybe I need to give this God thing a shot. We're not learning how to just simply tell people what we believe, okay? Church has done that for years. What we're trying to do to be persuasive is teach people how to express why we believe what we believe. To go, this is why I believe my Christian faith. This is why I believe these things. Not just what I believe, but here's why. And it makes logical sense. So far, we've covered 4 steps. Here are the 4 steps we have discussed so far of how to put our faith in a relevant way in the society we live. The first step was we asked the question, is there a God? And if you remember, we went through again the question, what came before that, right? What came before that? And that helps people understand the only logical conclusion you can come to is there has to be a God that exists. Not the Christian God, that's a different story, but there has to be an eternal, intelligent creator who started the whole system. Week 2 and step 2 was we asked the question, is God still here? After he created and put things into motion, did God stick around or did he just take off? And we went through the 3 options, and I explained to you how you can help people understand. Option 3, which means God's still here, God's interacting, God wants to communicate with us, is probably the most likely scenario of the 3 options. Step 3 was, has this God spoken to us? And I showed you the process of how you can rule out all the religions of the world and leave one that could possibly be the message from this God, and that leaves Christianity. And a very easy way to rule them out. And step 4 was last week where we asked the question, what has God said? And last week I walked you through how to take the entire gospel message, put it into a couple of little pictures that help people understand what the Bible teaches and what this God did for us and who Jesus Christ is and the significance of him in our lives. The problem with that, I said last week, was as good as this bridge illustration is at intellectually explaining the gospel message to people, the one thing it lacks is this: it doesn't connect your heart to it. So it gives you a good understanding. It goes, okay, I understand what Christians believe and what the Bible says and kind of what the story of the Bible is, but it doesn't connect your emotions to it, and that is the problem. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to attach a person's emotions to the gospel message. And understand, this is key. This is key to understand. This is key to grasp. This is key to understand how to illustrate to someone, because our emotions are what actually make us make decisions and changes in our lives. Is that not true? When your emotions are engaged to something, that's what forces you to go, I need to make a change, or I need to make a decision. If all you have is an intellectual pursuit, we all have intellectual things that aren't connected to our emotions, that don't drive what we do in our lives. When your emotions are connected, you tend to make decisions. Let me give you an example of this. Are you more tempted to donate money to a third world if they just tell you about the economic plight of the third world, or Or if they show you starving children on TV and go, this is what the children look like in that third world country. What do you tend to donate more to? The person telling you the story about the economic plight or seeing a starving child? Starving child, right? Because it engages your emotions, and then you go, I need to think about doing something, all right? Another example, do you get more excited about reading about what happened in a football game or reading the box score or actually watching the football game itself? Watching, all right? If you follow Heather, if you follow Heather's Facebook post, you know it's watching, all right? But when your emotions are engaged, it makes you speak out. Another example, for music, do you get more emotional listening to music or just reading the lyrics? Listening, okay? Because it engages your emotions. It makes you make change. It engages you on a different level. That's what we're going to do this morning. Being able to engage a person's emotions are key in getting them to engage the message that you're speaking, all right? It's just not giving them an intellectual pursuit. It's engaging their emotions with the intellectual. So let me show you how that is done. It's with one simple question. The question is this: do you want to know what happens when you die? So you have explained that there's a God. You've explained why you think he interacts with us. You've explained why Christianity stands out among all the other religions. You've explained what Christianity teaches. Then you're helping people go, do you want to know what happens when you die? And I can tell you across the board, everyone I've ever done this with always says, sure, just tell me. And you're not saying, this is how I always, do you want to know what happens when you die according to the Bible? Because you've just got done talking about the scriptures. Everyone will go, yeah, just tell me what happens. Here's what you have to be able to do. Now again, I caution you, the drawings you see today, you're not going to be able to do yourself because the skill level is so high that most of you, unless you're a professional artist, are going to sit here this morning going, I really can't do that for someone else because that guy's so skilled, and if I can't draw like Scott, how am I ever going to present the gospel message to the rest of the world? And I know that's a limitation for you. I apologize for that. There's nothing I can do to help you with your artwork. Now, second, if you choose to frame my artwork that's on the front of the program and sell it, I do ask that you would give me at least a 10% commission on that if you're making money off of my skills. All right? Are we all good there? Okay, good. All right. So here is your picture for today. You want to know what happens when you die. Here are the things you have to be able to draw. You're back to a couple of figures. Somebody requested I put fingers and toes because it's not on the bulletin. But, okay. Here's the first person. Who is this person? Okay, we know it's God from my drawings. You can tell. These are chairs, just so you know. As I said, you can't draw like me, but some of us can. Now, there are 4 people that are going to be in this picture for you. The first 2, Jesus and God, they're in front of you. The second picture, second part of the picture, don't mock my drawings, people. Just because you can't draw like me doesn't mean you have the right to mock me. All right, oh wait, hands and feet. Okay, this is you. Okay? When you die, what we know from Scripture. What? That's the problem. You guys are too close this morning. Okay, let's put this over here. All right, can you guys see over there now, or am I blocking you out? Okay, here we go. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You people are horrible. All right. So, just so we have that on video's sake forever, somebody just said, no, cover it back up. Okay, just so we have that on video so we know what's being said. Okay, you have you in the picture. Now, there's one other character that will be in this picture. This last one. When I draw him, I always do what traditionally you see. There's his horns. We'll give him feet. We'll give him hands too. All right? Okay. Your last person is Satan. When you die. Dude, that's beautiful drawings. I don't know why you're laughing because that's beautiful stuff there, all right? It's not a cat. It's Satan. It's Satan, people, all right? Here's what you need to know. These are your 4 people in the drawing. So you're going to have Jesus, God. It talks about when you die, you will face judgment. You will sit before the throne of God and face judgment. In that room, you will have 4 people. All right? You are going to have 2 options that could possibly happen in the scenario. You're going to have option A and option B. On this side, we can call it heaven, we're going to call this side hell. And we're going to draw one last little thing. And this is a projector and a screen. Okay, this is all you have to be able to draw. Now, I know you're overwhelmed because you're going, dude, I can't draw that well. But this is what you have to have. This is a key picture, Christians, for you to understand about your faith. This is how you connect the emotions when I tell you this story here in a second. All you need to know is the 4 characters, where they're placed. There are 2 options, heaven, hell, and you have basically a PowerPoint presentation. Let me tell you how you tell the story. Here's what's going to happen when you die. We will all stand before God, and we will stand in the face of God and Jesus. And I always say this when I'm talking to people. In all honesty, we're probably going to have a frown because we're going to be scared. Okay? When you stand in front of a holy, just God and your creator, and it's just you, it's going to be a scary thing. No one else there except Jesus and Satan. And here's how it works. What's going to happen with judgment is in option A. What will happen is when you stand before them, Satan will be in the room. And I always make this point. I always go, we're in the 22nd. Are we in the 22nd century now? Is that what it's called now since we crossed? Is it 21st? It is 21st. Okay. So 21st century. He's going to have PowerPoint. And the way it goes is this. Satan is called the great accuser. And here is why. When you stand before God, he is going to accuse you of everything you did that God desired that you didn't do, which is called sin. Every sin you have ever committed, he's going to accuse you of, and he's going to have PowerPoint slide. And the way it's going to go is this. Let's just say we're going to put Scott on trial. And the way it's going to go is Satan's going to stand there and he's going to go, okay, God, here's the deal. Scott, do you remember when you were 13 and you did this? Click. And there's a picture. Scott, do you remember when you were 15 and you did this? Click. And there's a picture. Scott, do you remember when you were 16? You did this. Remember 23? Remember when you were 31? Remember when you were 39? Remember these things you did. And he's going to start through the PowerPoint slideshow. Now, if you are like me, regular person, within the first 2 clicks, I'm going just in this thing. Be honest with you, right? Think about your life. You stand before a holy, just God, and everything you've ever done that you shouldn't have done in God's eyes are now you're going to stand looking at his face, and they're going to go through a slideshow presentation showing him everything you did, and you're going to have to stand there. 2 or 3 slides into it, I'm like, can we just dismiss this thing and be done with it, and can you just send me to hell because I know where I need to go? Right? Honestly, that's where I would be, is I would look at my life, and I would go, dude, I don't want to go through the whole 600,000 pictures you're going to do. Let's stop on number 3. I know what the other 597,993 are. I know what those are going to be too because I lived them. And I prefer we just not waste our time here and just get me out of this place because this is really uncomfortable. Okay? And he's going to go through these. And at the end of it, God's going to go, I have to now give judgment. And God's standard is this. If you have one sin on your account, you can't be with me for eternity. One sin. You can't live in my presence for eternity in my kingdom. You have to be separated from me. And what will happen in option A is this. God will go, here's the deal. Scott, I love you. I sent people into your life to talk to you. I sent people into your life that could have saved you, that could have changed the situation. I sent different circumstances into your life trying to get your attention. I did all these things, and you ignored them, and you still just wanted to live your life and do the things you want to do the way you want to do them. And at the end of the day, now I have to say, Satan is correct. These things are on your account. I can't do anything about it at this point, and you're going to have to be separated for eternity from me. And what will happen is we will go to hell. Okay? Now, this answers a couple of questions for all of us to understand. One of the questions we get as Christians all the time is this. How can a loving God do what? Send people to hell. How can a loving God send people to hell? Let me tell you how. This is totally loving. This is not God being angry with me. I don't get a sense when I look at this picture of God going, I hate you, get to hell. I see a God going, this breaks my heart, but my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do. The sin is on your account. There's nothing I can do here at this point, and I'm a holy, just God. I'm not just a loving God. I'm holy and just, and you're going to be separated for eternity from me and out of my presence. It's an easy way to answer the question, how can a loving God send people to hell? Because he's still loving. He's just going, I can't do anything to help you at this point. You chose your route, and you're going to be separated from me. And you're going to spend the rest of your life in his presence. and it's not going to be fun. He's a great accuser. He hates you. Okay? What I always tell people is this. Sore losers. How many of you have ever interacted with a sore loser before? Some of you, because I'm a Michigan fan right now and read my Facebook, you might think of me as a sore loser with Ohio State, but that's a different story. But here's what a sore loser does. When you lose against, or when you beat a sore loser, do they just walk away and shut up usually? No. Even though they lose, they still try to destroy your life, right, and your happiness, to still try to do something to poke you. I always describe this relationship between God and Satan as this. Satan knows he's a loser. At the end of the day, it's done. He already knows how it's going to turn out, which is he loses. The only option he has in the meantime till it's all over is do anything I can do to hurt this guy. I'm going to lose, but I'm going to hurt him any way I can on the way out. How does he hurt God? He takes the one thing he loves the most from him. And what is that? His creation in us. So his whole role is, I keep you from him, so I know you go here on Judgment Day, so I can stick it to the man one last time. Even though I'm going to lose, I still get to stick it to him. And that is Satan's entire perspective on things. That's his entire motivation in life, is to get you separated from God for all of eternity, because even if he loses, he feels like he still caused him pain, and that's the only thing he cares about, is causing God pain. That is option A. Now, the other thing you need to know is in this whole option, Jesus sits here at the right hand of God the whole time. He is silent, never says a word. And I often describe it like this. Have you ever had someone look through you as if you knew you had no value to them and you didn't exist? Have you ever felt that before? Like where you just could tell they didn't care you were around, you have no value, you are a nobody. I always say this is what the look you're going to get from Jesus the whole time. You might be sitting there looking at him going, is he going to say anything? And he's just staring off into La La Land. As if he doesn't know you, has never seen you, has no relationship with you. And he will sit quiet the whole time, and you will be sentenced, and you will be sentenced to number A, or option A, which is hell, and you will be separated from God for eternity. Now, that sounds depressing. It is depressing. So then we have to explain to people, what is option B? Option B, church, here's the story you tell. Exact same scenario, exact same picture, drastically different events that are going to take place. Here's how the option B is. Option B works like this. You will stand before God and you will get ready to be judged. And as Satan gets ready to get his PowerPoint and the first slide up, what's going to happen is something drastically different, and is this. This guy's not going to be silent this time. What will happen in this scenario is Jesus will stand up before the first slide is put up. Jesus will stand up and he will go, hold on a second. God, I worked out a deal with Scott years ago. We have a relationship. I know him. He knows me. And we worked out a deal, and we've already got this deal together. And the deal is basically this. Would you judge him right now before Satan gets started? And what will happen is Satan will be cut out of the picture, and God will go, okay, well, Jesus standing up for it, and he will go, I'm looking at you, and there's no charges on you. There's no sin on your account. You are free. Come live with me for eternity in my kingdom. You are perfect, okay? And what we get in option B is at that point we leave. And we are out of here, and we go to hell, or not to go to hell. We go to hell. Jeez, man, I got it wrong my whole life. No. We go to heaven, and we never face judgment for the things we did. And we escape this scenario. Now, this is not where it ends, and this is key for us to explain, because a lot of Christians get this wrong as well, okay? Here's what you have to explain next. You are gone. There's still going to be an accusation of things that were done. And here's how it's going to go. This guy is now going to be accused by this guy. And Satan's going to go, hey, Jesus, remember when you were 13 and you did this one? Click. And it's going to be Jesus' face, not mine. Satan, or Jesus, remember when you were 17 and you did this? Click. And it's going to be his face, not mine. Remember when you were 23? Remember when you were 31. Remember when you were 39. And he's going to go through 700,000 PowerPoint slides of everything Jesus did that was disobedient to God. And then at the end of it, what Jesus will say is this. That is absolutely correct. And guess what? You already killed me for it. You slaughtered me on a cross, and you ended my life for the things that I did. And you already got your blood. And God will go, he's been sentenced, he's been killed, let's go on to the next person. Let me tell you why people need to understand this part, and you as Christians need to understand this part. I am not a Christian because I'm scared of going to hell. That has never scared me, okay? When I was 20 years old and still an atheist, hell had no fear to me at all. It wasn't a motivating factor for becoming a Christian. What was my motivating factor is knowing that Jesus Christ was going to be accused of everything I ever did, and he was going to take it so I could be free of it. And I went, you tell me what to do. You want me to go into ministry? I'm in ministry. You want me to move to Oklahoma with these people? I'll move to Oklahoma and be with these people. You want me to sell my house? You want me to move down here in East Tulsa? Sell my house. I'll move down here in East Tulsa. You want me to do this? I will do that. You want me to do that? I'll do that. Why? Anybody that's willing to do what this guy's going to do for me, I'll do whatever he asks me to do. Now again, I'm not perfect. I don't get it right. I still sin, and there's still going to be things, if I get to live to 80 years old, that someday he's going to be accused of going, remember when you were 71 and you did that, and you were 63 and you did that? Because I'm still going to sin. I'm not perfect. But I will tell you this, my motivating factor is I love this guy. Not because I'm scared of hell. And I will do the best I can to live the life he's called me to live in the time that he's given me here, because I know someday when I sit before the judgment seat of God, Jesus is going to stand up for me and go, I know him, we cut a deal, and none of that stuff is his, it's all mine, and you judge him based on what I did, and it's going to be perfect. And I'm going to go spend the rest of my life in heaven, and he's going to be accused. The creator of the universe is going to take all of my punishment and be killed for me, which he already has, but die for me so I can be free from accusation. Now, let me ask you this. Does this get to your emotions a little bit? Raise your hand if this is a little more. Okay. Do you see the difference between the bridge illustration, which is intellectual, and this, which is emotional? When you can present this to people in an effective way, you can get people to really look at their lives and go, what am I doing? Because you engage their emotions. But this is part of the gospel story as well. And you need to know what's going on. Some of you are Christians here. And you're a Christian because someone scared you into becoming a Christian to escape hell. Let me just tell you, that was the wrong motivation. And you will never love Jesus the way you should love Jesus if that's why you are a Christian. Because you don't fully grasp what he's done for you and how much he loves you. You're just scared of going to hell and you want to go to heaven. And I want you to know as a Christian, you don't have to live in fear of hell. You don't have to make decisions because you're trying to stay away from hell. You can make all of your decisions because you love this guy more than anything on this planet, and you will serve him faithfully the best way that you can. And it will change your entire religious life. It will change your entire church experience, your entire walk with Jesus Christ when you understand that, and it's not just about fear. And when you can help people engage their hearts and their emotions with the gospel message, you can get people to make decisions that will change their lives for eternity, and that's the business we're in, is it not? Okay? We have to learn this stuff. You're going to have to take some time, folks. Draw a very basic picture, but you got to be able to story tell it. You got to be able to explain what happens in option A and what happens in option B. Why God, who is loving, can send people to hell, and why Jesus Christ, who is incredibly loving, will take your punishment and you can be free. And the reason you serve him is you love him, not because you're scared of going to hell. You have to learn how to tell that story. If you do, you can become an incredibly effective evangelist for Jesus Christ and explaining your faith to the people around you. And what will happen is as we get through next week and the final week when I put it all together, my hope is this: somewhere in the next 6 months or so, you will build the confidence that when you are in a work environment or at your home environment or in your neighborhood or something, and you see a door open to share your faith, you're wanting to tell someone, can I tell you why I believe what I believe? And you can sit down and draw this stuff out and be very effective with it, and people go, oh, I got that. And when you do, you got the shot of changing people's lives for eternity. And it's an amazing thing when you see God use you to do that. All right? Let's pray.